This is Andrew, and he is back from boot camp, and I want to do an interview with him on the goings on of Parris Island. So you get to Parris Island, and you get off the bus.
Yep.
What happens?
You move immediately to the yellow footprints, just like they tell you to. Once everybody's standing there, they just start yelling at you, telling you you're now part of the, you're now, property of the government. You're not, your butt belongs to them, and every waking moment of your life is going to be a living torment of pain and misery and all kinds of stuff like that. And they tell you that you're now going through the hardest training and we're the best and all that kind of stuff. Then they move you inside.
And what do you do once you get inside?
You get inside and you all sit at these steel desks, and you're exhausted. It's 3 in the morning, and they start yelling everybody's name out, and everybody's wanting to, you're wanting to scream real loud, and they don't want you to. They want you to talk in a normal voice so they can understand who's there and who's not. But everybody's so shaken up and nervous they want to scream everything. It's like you don't have control of your own volume. And they get everybody's name, and they give you little name tags. We had to put them in our shoes, or these little name tags. I guess so when we got rid of our civilian stuff, we'd have like little piles sitting there with everybody's name. And then you move immediately to the phones, and you call home, and there's a little card on the wall you have to read home. Yep, I have arrived safely at Parris Island. Please do not send any food or bulky items. I will contact you in 3 to 5 days via postcard with my new mailing address. Thank you for your support. Goodbye for now. Click. You're not allowed to say anything else. You're not allowed to, they can say what they want. They could be talking on the other side the whole time. But you can't say anything other than that, and then you have to hang the phone up immediately afterwards. And that was pretty hard for me, even though I'd only been gone for less than 24 hours. My dad answered, and my mom had told me she was going to answer, but I don't know what happened there. What was it?
I'll tell you what happened there is you called it at 1:09 in the morning.
1:09, that's when I got there, not 1:09.
I had no idea that you were. I thought it was going to be at a decent hour when I would be awake. The phone's on your daddy's side of the bed, not mine. The cell phone.
I was talking so fast you probably wouldn't have understood me anyway.
He said he told me he couldn't have said anything to you anyway. Because trust me, I cried.
He said good luck.
I felt awful. Yeah, he said he loved you and good luck. He was talking over you.
Yeah.
So was there a drill instructor in the background listening to what you said?
He was listening. There's 2 of them standing back there listening, but they didn't say a word the whole time.
And were you in sync with the people around you? I guess you weren't, since
no,
because
one of them was dragging it out. One of them beside me, he was talking really slow. You could tell somebody was on the other end talking to him, because he was talking very, very slow.
And he didn't get in trouble?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, you should have talked slow.
I was already halfway through.
Okay, then you made your phone call. What'd they do then?
They just moved us back into the same room. Roll called again.
Because one of you might have escaped while you were on the phone.
And then moved us into it's called bucket issue. No, not bucket issue. That's different stuff. This is clothing issue. First, your camis and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they issue you 3 sets of woodland camis, which is the green ones. The green digital camis. And that's horrible, because there are 4 or 5 like PFCs and Lance Corporals in there, like newbies themselves that feel like they're on top of the world, and they like to bash on all of you and make fun of you and all kinds of stuff like that. But they're constantly yelling, constantly saying they have power and all this stuff, and of course it scares you, because half the guys in there didn't know what the ranks meant anyway. I knew prior to going in, so that was a plus for me. But we got that stuff. We got our boots, belt. Then we went into another room and got our basic hygiene items. They give you a big white mesh bag full of your toothpaste and your soap and your razors and your razor blades, and all of it's brand new. Your underwear, your t-shirts, your brand new pair of New Balance tennis shoes, called go fasters in the military, and they like to use that a lot. They said, "What kind of shoes you wearing there?" Go fasters. What's that mean you should do? Go faster. So we had to run with them on. That was our running shoes, and you always hated putting them on because you knew it was PT day.
Oh.
Nobody wanted to do PT, especially because the goal of every drill instructor was to break you off, which means you PT until you can't breathe anymore. You can't move. They tell you to do a push-up and you can't do a push-up anymore. That's the point of every drill instructor. And they love it when somebody says, "I can't," or they freak out and say, "I can't," and stuff like that.
Wow. How do you know they love it?
Because they smile on accident. They're not supposed to smile, but we watch them and they smile. Because when you got a guy that's laying on the ground and he goes, "I can't die anymore," and curls up into a ball, then we're laughing and so are they. And they love it. They love it when somebody quits. That's their goal.
Okay, so
if you want to quit, you just basically lay there. You don't say a word. You just lay there until they get rid of you because they're tired of looking at you.
do the drill instructors, don't they do any PT with you?
Just the senior.
So if they can do it, that should mean you can do it, right?
Yeah, they can, but they don't do as much as us. When they stand over you, not doing anything but yelling, and they make you do it.
Okay.
So.
But when you run, they have to run with you to keep up with you.
But they send almost every drill instructor that in your, well, I wouldn't say company because Alpha Company was huge, but I'd say everybody on our side. It was broken up into 6 platoons in Alpha Company. 3 were lead series and 3 were follow series. Didn't matter if you were lead or follow. It's just the 3 platoons that got there first, the 3 platoons that got there next. You know, lead, follow. I was in follow, 3rd deck, which means I was basically in a 3-story building. I was on top, which was horrible. Because in the military, it's just weird because you think when you're in your house, so we called it house hooch, whatever they wanted to call it that day, that you're on your own schedule. But when you walk out, you see everybody else leaving too at the same exact time. And the drill instructors, they haven't called each other, they haven't scheduled anything. It's just, but everybody starts running out at the same exact time. So we're on top, and we're trying to get downstairs while 2 other platoons are trying to get down there too. What was I talking about? Yeah, the drill instructors. They send like every drill instructor from follow side with us when we run, and they spread them out so that they can catch the people who try to walk. And what they do is they'll say, "Hop, I got me 2 fat bodies," and he'll put both of you in front of him and run you.
Did you ever have to do that?
Absolutely.
You were a fat body?
I was a diet tray.
What does diet tray mean?
Diet tray means that they take your food and cut it in half. Everything you get's a half scoop instead of a scoop. You're not allowed to go near the dessert line. My drill instructor was usually standing there because they put all the good thing about being a diet tray is you go to the front of the line. The bad thing about it is the drill instructor stays around until the diet trays go through the line before he sits down. And they really don't eat in front of you until the end. Drill instructors really don't eat in front of you until the end because the Marine Corps thinks it shows weakness.
To eat?
To eat in front of your recruits.
Okay.
So, and it makes them mad too because they're sitting there going, "That little SOB gets to eat, and I'm over here, I don't get to eat." So when he goes back outside with you, he's extra mad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things they tap their leg when they're mad at you. They sit there and go, "Think
So,
that's funny."
like, what kind of things did you get to eat? Even though you were on a diet tray, did you get to eat?
They'll
good
look at you.
food?
Don't even think about it. You walk past the desserts, they look at you. Don't even look. Don't even look over there. We can tell you're full of cookies already, and then you keep going, and then you're allowed to have the main. And then you have to tell the woman that's behind the counter, "Diet tray, ma'am," because there's like 3 choices, but she'll give you the one that's most healthy for you, which is always, I don't know why, the noodles I heard are more fattening than like the beef, but they always give you the noodle meal. Whatever the noodle meal is that day, you get that.
And your meat has a lot of calories. Meat,
Noodles.
any kind of meat, it has a lot of calories.
But I had to eat spinach and noodles.
You ate spinach? Did you like it?
Well, I had never tried it before till here. When
Cooked
we had that.
spinach or
Cooked. It was,
Okay.
It was like cheesy, long noodles with spinach in it. It was really good.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
really good.
Fettuccine Alfredo or something like that.
Stuff like that, but had spinach in it. It was really good.
Oh.
And then you get the little baby carrots and peas and stuff, and you're not allowed to have mashed potatoes. Any kind of potato dish, potato wedges, anything like that, you're not allowed to have.
Did you eat the peas and carrots?
Yeah, I eat peas on a daily basis.
Did your peas
corn.
on?
That you always have bread. What they have is basically they've taken wheat bread and thrown it out there, rye bread, raisin bread, and white.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go for bread, you can have one piece of wheat.
Mm-hmm.
So I always had a piece of wheat bread because when you go through the second line, or rolls. But when you go through the second line, there's all kinds of other stuff. It's like the salad bar, and you're allowed to have the salad. You have to go for a fat-free dressing. You can only have one packet, which is, gosh, it just like you squirt every bit of the dressing that's out there, and you've got enough for a teaspoonful.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. So you have to put you take one leaf and put a drop on it and eat it that way. You find weird ways to conserve things when you're eating. These little packets are terrible. I mean, you try to rip off a little corner so it comes out in like a little tiny line, and you'll rip the whole package in half. And it'll all go everywhere, and you're like, oh, no. Because I can't eat salad without dressing personally. I just can't do it. I feel like a rabbit. But, so you go through the line, and you always get a peanut butter and jelly packet if you want it. There's always apple jelly and grape jelly. But there's always all kinds of fruits, almost every fruit. There's pears, peaches, apples, oranges, whichever one they have out for the day. There's usually 2. Bananas, everybody always gets a banana. If they've got bananas out, bananas are taken. Everybody eats bananas because they want the protein. We all want the protein because I guess we felt it really kicked in quick.
Did you ever use your packet of peanut butter on your banana?
Yeah. And everybody thought I was weird because I was the only one that did it.
I love peanut butter.
Yeah, I did it anyway. And I had a, believe it or not, imagine this if you will, 3 months of eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with every meal. 3 meals a day. So, 3 times over 70, and that's how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches I've eaten in the past 3 months. Tons. Everybody eats one. And people, when they forget their peanut butter, they're begging people down the table to share.
I crave peanut butter.
But, we had people taking peanut butter back to the barracks and got busted with it.
They got busted?
That is the only portable thing you can really get out of there easy, is peanut butter packets. And they got, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Everybody died. It's kind of like the same, if you ever seen Full Metal Jacket, they found a jelly donut in this guy's footlocker, and he had to stand there and eat it while everybody else pushed for it.
Well, that would have been bad to eat.
Of course, they didn't let him eat it.
Oh, so
he all had to do footlocker aerobics.
What does that mean?
Which means you have a footlocker full of all of your personal items. We really don't know how much it weighed. But over time it feels not heavy at all. But at the beginning, when you first get there, it feels like a horrible contraption of doom, because you're squatting with it and putting it over your head and holding it straight out and pulling up and down with it and just doing everything, running up and down the thing with it.
So were you all mad at that guy later because of that?
Absolutely.
Did you say anything?
Called
to
him a little porker. We called him.
Was he big?
Not really. He wasn't. But who brings food back? I mean, we had guys. We had guys that were obese that didn't bring food back, and were actually during their free time at night working out, and then you got this little medium-sized guy sneaking food back in the first week.